Welcome back. In this video, we're looking at something really central to how the workplace operates, and that's the key participants in workplace relations. Now, when we talk about workplace relations, we're talking about the interaction between employers and employees around things like pay, working conditions, dispute resolution, and overall employment agreements. But it's not just the employer and the employee involved. There are several other players who help shape these relationships, including human resource managers, unions, employer associations, and even the Fair Work Commission. By the end of this video, you should be able to explain the roles and responsibilities of each participant, and how they interact during processes like negotiation and conflict resolution. Let's break them down one by one. 1. Human resource managers. First up are the HR managers. These are the people within a business who are responsible for managing the employment relationship on a day-to-day basis. They do a bit of everything: hiring staff, organizing training, managing performance, and handling workplace issues. But in the context of workplace relations, their biggest job is often to represent the employer during negotiations and to implement agreements once they are made. For example, if a new enterprise agreement is being negotiated, the HR manager will likely be the one at the table alongside union representatives, working through the terms. Once that agreement is finalized, HR is also responsible for making sure it's followed, things like correct pay, hours of work, and leave entitlements. They're the middle ground between business goals and employee needs, so communication and understanding the law are critical. 2. Employees. Now let's talk about employees, because they're not just passive recipients of decisions. Employees are active participants in workplace relations. They're the ones who may vote on enterprise agreements, raise issues or disputes, or even take industrial action if negotiations break down. They can also act individually or as part of a larger group, like a union. In some workplaces, employees might be directly involved in enterprise bargaining, especially in smaller businesses, while in others, they're represented by union delegates. Employees are also expected to follow lawful instructions, perform their duties, and engage constructively in the process when required. 3. Employer associations. Think of employer associations as the business world's version of unions, except instead of representing workers, they represent employers. These are industry-based bodies, like the Australian Industry Group or the Victorian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. They offer advice to businesses on things like pay structures, workplace law, and industrial disputes. During negotiations, they might help an employer draft an enterprise agreement or provide support during legal proceedings. So, if a company is unsure how to respond to a proposed union demand, they might go to their employer association for guidance or strategy. 4. Unions. On the other side of the table, we have unions, which represent the collective interests of workers. Unions aim to improve pay, conditions, safety, and job security for their members. They are heavily involved in collective bargaining and industrial action. When a group of employees wants to negotiate a new enterprise agreement, the union often acts on their behalf. Unions also support workers in disputes. For example, if an employee feels they've been unfairly dismissed, the union might represent them in hearings or help them lodge a formal complaint. The level of union involvement varies across industries. They're more active in some sectors, like construction or education, than others. 5. The Fair Work Commission. Lastly, we have the Fair Work Commission, often referred to as the independent umpire in workplace relations. It's a government body, and its job is to oversee the fair and lawful operation of the industrial relations system. It handles disputes, approves enterprise agreements, sets minimum wages, and ensures laws are followed. If negotiations break down, the Fair Work Commission may step in to help resolve the issue through mediation or arbitration, which we'll explore more in the next video. The Commission also deals with unfair dismissal claims, makes rulings on industrial action, and reviews modern awards. In short, it's there to ensure fairness, balance, and compliance with the law. So, let's bring it all together. In any workplace negotiation or issue, you've got human resource managers, who represent the employer and put agreements into practice. Employees, who participate in negotiations and workplace matters. Employer associations, who support businesses in their responsibilities and negotiations. Unions, who advocate for employee rights and workplace improvements. And the Fair Work Commission, which steps in when guidance, mediation, or legal rulings are needed. Each group plays a different role, but together, they form the framework for a fair and functioning workplace. And remember, this isn't just theory. These roles shape real working lives. Understanding who does what can help you make sense of how conflict is handled, how pay is set, and how workers and employers get their voices heard. That wraps up our look at the participants in workplace relations. Make sure to check the video description for study notes and practice questions to help solidify what we've covered. In our next video, we'll dive into the dispute resolution process, including how mediation and arbitration work when workplace issues escalate. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.